Hey everyone, welcome back to another wonderful Wednesday episode. So, obviously, the markets were up a little bit today. So was Bitcoin, not much. Ethereum was up a little bit as well, but it wasn't too bad. Miners were kind of mixed bag. So we'll take a look at markets, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll also take a look at Bitcoin miners, see how they did, and then we'll take a look at to see if there's any miners that are actually in trouble. Based on that, we received all of our financial results for basically ending in June. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the numbers, and as always, not financial advice. You guys know the drill here. I'm investing in following coins and companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe, hit the like button, helps me out tremendously. That's all I ask from you guys. And let's get into the markets here really quick. So markets were up a little bit today. So S&P was up 0.34%, Dow Jones was up 0.11%, and NASDAQ was up 0.74%. So compared to what we had yesterday, this was actually a pretty good day. We had a little bit of bounce today. Nothing major, but at least we bounced a little bit because yesterday was just rough. So those are the markets here. Now onto Bitcoin. Bitcoin was up a little bit today. It was up 0.26% on the day. We did wick down quite a bit here. We got pretty close to our support line at 19,500. The low on it today was 19,625, and we bounced off of that, and we closed at 20,227. So that was actually pretty good. I just don't know what's going to happen next as far as what's with the price action here. RSI is still looking pretty good on the daily chart. We're somewhere in the middle. On the 1 hour chart, we have obviously gone quite a bit up in the middle range here, 46 also on the 1 hour chart. And looking at it, we've been obviously, price has been higher before while the RSI has been lower. So right now we're kind of in this no man's land. Really don't know which way it's going to go until we get some kind of a pattern reversal, whether we're seeing RSI coming down, price going up, or we're seeing actually price coming down and RSI going up, which is going to be a bad sign for us there. So right now we came close to battling, obviously today with the 19,500 support line. We'll see how this continues going forward. I think we might be okay. We're just going to shake this off. Obviously the CPI data that came in wasn't good, and that is what caused our crash here. So Ethereum is at 1,648 right now. It has been running up a little bit here in the last couple of hours. Obviously this was yesterday. Today we were trading kind of sideways, going down a little bit, and then obviously at around noon we started going back up in price. So looking at the daily chart, we were up today 4.09% on Ethereum, which was good, and we are starting to go back up a little bit as well right now. So that's fine. All right, let's take a look at the miners here really quick. So Annie was up 0.42% to 61 cents. Argo was down 7.07% to 41 cents. Bit Digital was up 1.42% to $1.45. Bitfarms was up 0.8% to $1.26. CleanSpark was down 4.03% to $4.29. Cores was up 2.99% to $2.07. DigiHost was up 4.22% to 87 cents. DMG was down 1.95% to 21 cents. Greenwich was down 1.37% to $2.16. Hive was down 0.22% to $4.54. Hut 8 was up 2.22% to $2.08. Iris Energy was up 5.16% to $4.48. Luxfolio was flat on the date at 7 cents. Marathon was down 1.72% to $12.60. And Mawson was down 2.01% to 69 cents. Riot was down 0.92% to $7.56. Soluna was down, they were down big, 22.93% to $2.05, and Stronghold was up 2.07% to $1.48. And that is it on the miners here. So like I said, this is going to be a pretty quick video. We're going to get into next is the miners with their financial results all being reported. We do have 152 days left until the next Bitcoin halving. So we are getting, obviously, every day is getting closer. So this is obviously going to be a tough period for us here until we get closer to it, like I've said before, but we'll just have to manage through it. All right, so here is all the data that I have on the miners as far as shares outstanding, stock price, market cap, everything else that we track here. So we'll just go through these one by one, kind of. I'll look at where they are now, where they're going to be, kind of my thoughts on it, where they should be if Bitcoin starts going back up and we get a 20 multiples on all of these guys here, kind of where the stock price should be on these. And that's kind of just my estimates on it. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. Obviously, do your own research on all of this, but this kind of what I'm looking for is the lows and possibly the highs for them are. Obviously, if Bitcoin starts going way up in price, this is all going to be I wouldn't say all inaccurate, but I think it's going to get blown out. We've seen obviously Marathon before. When Bitcoin is going up, they can get up to a high of like a 30, 35, and 40 PE ratio. So I'm doing a 20 PE ratio here, just kind of to be conservative with companies that are growing, basically. So let's take a look at the miners here. So we do have the ones in green are the large miners, and that's based on their future hash rate. The ones that are in kind of this yellow are the medium miners. They're going to be under 10 exahash. And this is all that's reported of miners being purchased for them. So I know some companies have stated they're going to be a lot bigger, like CleanSpark said they're going to be at 22.4 possibly next year, but we don't have any concrete news on that, so we're still keeping them in the medium miners until we have press releases or anything like that that's going to give us miner information where they're purchasing miners or whatever they're doing. Then we got these ones here in kind of light red here is DigiHost, DMG, Soluna. Those are the small miners. Those are the ones that are going to be under, I think, 2.5 exahash is what I capped them at. But those are obviously on the smaller side here. So looking at Marathon obviously has 1.4 billion market cap right now. Core has 739 million. Iris is 246 million. Riot is 1.1 billion, almost 1.16 billion. Bitfarms is 247 million. CleanSpark 202. Sphere is at 39 million. Greenidge is at 90. Hive is at 372. Argo is at 245. Hut is at 403. Mawson is at 55. BitDigital is at 119. And DigiHost is at 22. DMG is at 35. And Soluna is at 46 million for market caps. Here are the estimated revenue for the last 3 quarters and the current quarter. Obviously, things might change, especially since we're still in September. Miners are still getting installed. That's going to obviously help them increase possibly their revenues. And it all depends where Bitcoin's going to be. So if Bitcoin goes down, obviously this is going to be down a little bit as well. But they can overcome that by installing obviously more miners. So Marathon, we're looking at about 151 million. Excuse me. Core Scientific at 400 million in revenue for the 4 quarters. Iris at 68. Riot at 219. Bitfarms at 174. CleanSpark at 130. Sphere at 2.7. Greenidge at 96. Hive at 194. Argo at 81. Hut 8 at 138, Mawson at 68, BitDigital at 38, DigiHost at 28, DMG at 32 and 29. So if we look at that number, do it descending. Obviously, Core is making a lot of money based on that they're basically mining like 41, 42 Bitcoins a day right now. They're over 1,100 Bitcoins per month. So they are generating quite a lot of revenue here. Riot is obviously second here at 219 right now. Hive is at number 3. Bitfarms is at number 4. Marathon is at number 5 spot. Hot 8 is at number 6. CleanSpark is at number 7. Greenidge is number 8. And you can go down the list here. So obviously these are the ones that are making the most right now. And then looking at their 50% net income from gross revenue, and we also look at the 75% net income from gross revenue, we're looking to see how far under they are from my estimates from the 75% net income from gross revenue. This would be this mark here. So all we're doing is just what my estimates are, where they are right now, and how far off they are from where they should be. And then we get a percentage difference as far as how much they could possibly go up. So we'll do it, we'll just go one by one. So Core, obviously at 50%, we're looking at $11.20 to $16.80. Riot, $14.18 to $21.27. Hive is at $23.75, possibly $35.63. Bitfarms $8.90 to $13.35. Marathon $12.94 to $19.40. Hut 8 is at $7.16 to $10.74. CleanSpark $27.75 to $41.63. Greenidge at $22.98 to $34.47. Argo $139 to $208. Mawson at $8.50 to $12.75. Iris Energy at $12.37 to $18.56. BitDigital at $4.63 to $6.94. DMG at $2.01 to $3.02. Soluna at $12.84 to $19.27. And DigiHost is at $10.93 to $16.40. And Sphere 3D is at 43 cents to 65 cents. And that is based on, because it wasn't Sphere 3D, it was, let me see here, Soluna. Where's Soluna? Soluna right here. The only thing is that we don't know Soluna, or at least I haven't been able to find the information as far as what is their future hash rate going to be. I've been able to find what they actually have right now, but I haven't been able to find out what, or if anything, they have purchased in advance to get them to actual number going up in the future. And then I'm also using, obviously, the PE of 20 for all these. Some of the smaller miners, they could be maybe at a 10, a 12 PE, so I'm trying to be apples to apples here. That's why I'm using 20 across the board. But in reality, some of these smaller guys should be maybe 10 to 12. The medium guys, maybe, 15 to 18. And obviously the larger guys are growing more. Looking at, 20, around 20, I would think, to be fair. But looking at this, we are on core, $14.73 off from the high here of 75% net income from gross revenue. So that would be 712% possibly increase if that happens. And then this is all based on the possibility of Bitcoin going back up in price. Because right now everything is just so way undervalued based on where Bitcoin is right now. The miners are not getting any love right now, except for a couple of them, which we'll point out here in a little bit. But Riot is at 1371 negative words from where it should be. And that's a 181% possible increase from where they are right now. Hive should be at is off by about $31, which is 685% increase. Now with Hive and Hut 8, we do know that they're going to be transitioning from mining Ethereum, which has been very profitable for them, to some other coins and to high computing. We don't know how that's going to have an impact on them as well going forward. So these numbers might be a little high until we actually get some data as far as how much revenue they're generating from the other coins and possibly from high computing and things like that, which I don't think is going to be as profitable as mining Ethereum has been in the past. So those are just kind of side notes there. Bitfarms is $12.09 short, so that's 959% increase possibly. Marathon, $6.80, 54% increase possibly. So this leads me to believe that they are pretty well priced right now. At the 50% net income from gross revenue, we're looking at $12.94. They are at $12.60. This leads me to believe that they are pretty well priced right now, probably even overpriced based on the other miners here a little bit. But they're also getting the benefit of the doubt because of where they're heading as far as their hash rate, which we'll get into here in a little bit. HUD 8 is $8.66 off, 460% possible increase in them. CleanSpark is $37 off, a possible increase of $870. Greenidge is $32 off and a possible increase of almost 1,500% here. That's if they can pull everything off. But I think they've been kind of beaten down here quite a bit. Argo is $1.66 off, which is 385% increase. Mawson, $12.06, 1,748% increase in them. Iris Energy, now Mawson, that is probably going to decrease a little bit here. They did sell a site to CleanSpark recently, sold some miners as well, so they're obviously in trouble with their financials a little bit, which we'll get into here in a little bit as well. But that's where I have them right now. I think that's going to possibly change as well to the lower side here. Iris is $14.08, 314%. BitDigital, $5.49 off, 378% increase possible. DMG is $2.80, 1,200% up increase possibly. Now that's a big if there. Obviously, we got them at 20. I would say maybe a 10 P would be reasonable there. So that would obviously cut it down in possibly half. So maybe a 600% increase possibly if Bitcoin starts going up. Soluna is $17.22 off from where I think they should be. And that would be a 140% increase. DigiHost is $15.53 and 1785%. Like I said, with these guys probably closer to a 10, so cut that all in half probably from where they should be. And then we'll also take a look at Sphere is 3 cents off, so they are pretty well priced right now. Probably overvalued, I think, in my opinion, based on their current revenue of $2.7 million, and they have a 39 million market cap right now, compared to like DigiHost, which has revenue of about 28 million, but their market cap is 22, so way undervalued for them. DMG is at 32 million possibly, and their market cap is 35. So I mean, you can see here the differences on them is kind of ridiculous. What's another good example here that I can point out that is making quite a bit? Like Bitfarms, 174 million, they're valued at 247. Marathon, 151 million, but they're valued at 1.4 billion, which is just crazy to me. CleanSpark, another one, 130 million in revenue, but they're valued at 202. Way undervalued in my opinion in that one. So you guys can see the information here as well. Now, looking at their current hash rate and future hash rate, we'll just take a look at the percentage that they're operational right now. And we'll do this in order here as far as from smallest to largest. So this will be basically also looking at growth potential going forward. So they're currently about Sphere 3D is currently about 1.67% operational. They're supposed to get to 6 exahash. I know that they're still talking with their supplier on the ant miners to see if they can get the pricing reduced on those, but that will obviously help them out as well. If they can get to the 6 exahash here in the next year or so, that would be great. That would be a 5,900% increase in hash rate. That would be a huge growth for them. Marathon is at 13.7% right now. They are trying to get to 23 exahash. They are at 3.2 right now. That represents 630% increase on them. Iris is 14.68% operational right now. They're getting to 15. They did say that they're going to get to about 6 exahash or 6.8 exahash, I think, is what they have currently, up to Q3. And they were supposed to get to 15 exahash total, but they've kind of put everything on pause a little bit with the market the way it is right now with Bitcoin. So we'll see if that is still going to be the case here. We do have those miners being reported as being purchased, and deliveries are supposed to set on those in Q2, Q3, and Q1, I believe, in 2023. But we'll have to obviously track that, see if that actually happens. So they are 14.68% operational. That's a 581% increase from where they are right now. So really good gains there. Riot is 33% operational, and they have about 200% left of an increase. They're at 4.2. Future's going to be about 12. Plus, they are going to have some additional increases from their immersion cooling systems, which they have 200 megawatts of that. That might add them up to maybe 13 and a half, something like that. Total, once that is all said and done. BitDigital is 38% installed right now. They are obviously going to be growing only 158%. They're at 1 exahash right now, going to 2.8. Greenidge is at 51% right now. They're at 2.4, going to be about 4.7 exahash by everything said and done. So 96% growth to them. Bitfarms is at 51%, almost 52. They are at 3.9, going to be at 7.5 here. So they still have obviously a little bit ways to go here. DigiHost, 52%. CleanSpark is at 53 also. Like I said, CleanSpark said that their goal is to get to 22.4 by the end of sometime next year. So that is obviously going to increase, but we just need to have proof that that's actually going to happen. And once we get that, we'll update this number here as well. So it's an 89% growth, but if they're going to 22, they're basically the same as Marathon right now, pretty close. So about 600% increase possibly to that as well. So got to keep that in mind. And I'm surprised that the stock hasn't been doing much better with all the news that has been coming out lately from them, with all the purchases they've done recently, the site purchases. For some reason, I think maybe they're worried about cash, might be the reason for that. Mawson, like I said, is at 56%, but they did sell some of their miners, and they did sell a site. So I don't know if that's going to actually pan out for them to get to 3 exahash. Hive is at 58%. Now, that also includes just their current ASIC miners. This does not include their GPU miners, but they're going to be about 3.9, almost 4 exahash. So they're 71% left in growth for them. Argo is at 67%, so they got 49% left to grow. DMG is 73% installed, so 36% for them. Core Scientific is at 73%, and that's 36%, but that's still a lot of growth, or that's 5 exahash roughly for them to grow. They're just so big that it takes a lot more for them to get a much bigger percentage gain here. Hut 8 is at 83%, 20% growth left, so they're going to be pretty much done for once they get the remaining miners this year, possibly towards the end of the year. They should be completely installed. Now, we're just waiting for them to come out with news that they are going to be buying either miners, facilities, doing an M&A or something like that. And then Soluna, like I said before, I don't know what their future hash rate is. I could not find that information out. I can only find out what they are actually mining right now. Okay, so that's all of that news there. Hash rate average. This is basically all the miners that are installed right now with the current hash rates that we do have. This might be, as best guess on those. So we'll do this descending. So right now, Marathon has possibly the best miners installed, 106 terahash on average, followed by DMG. Then you got Sphere 3D and CleanSpark, followed by Core, Scientific, Iris, Mawson, Bitfarms, DigiHost, Argo, Hut 8, Greenidge, Bitfarms, Riot, Hive, and Soluna. So Hive does have quite a bit of miners that are older, but they are getting some newer miners here as well. BTC HODL, I don't really care about BTC HODL, but we'll take a look at the numbers here as far as how they stack up. I'm more interested in actually the companies using what they're mining and using that for operations, growth, and things like that. Because otherwise we're seeing obviously companies that hodl a lot will dilute shares, or they'll put coins up for basically for lending, and they make money on that, or they just have it take out loans against their BTC, and we've seen obviously trouble that's caused from that this year, as a lot of miners had to sell some of their portions to cover their debts or their loans. So I'm not too interested in this, but we'll just cover this really quick. So Marathon obviously has the most at 10,311, followed by Hut 8 at 8,111, Riot at 6,720, Hive at 3,258, Bitfarms at 2,128, Core at 1,409, Argo at 1,098, BitDigital at 919, CleanSpark at 526, DMG at 362, DigiHost at 176, Sphere at 74, and then Iris, Moss, and Greenidge and Soluna pretty much sell everything that they mine monthly right now. Okay, so let's see here. That covers that. Now, getting into their actual financial reports, the things that we're looking here for are the current assets, all assets, total current liabilities, total equity. Then we're using the ratios, current ratio, debt to equity ratio. And then we're looking to see if they had to sell, basically pay off their total liabilities based on what their current assets are. And then we're getting obviously the numbers here that represent that. So looking at the numbers here, assets-wise, let's see who has the most assets. We'll do this descending. So Core Scientific has the most assets, 1.8 billion in assets. Their assets and then we're using the assets to market cap. It's basically their market cap is 40% of their total assets. So this leads me to believe that they are way undervalued. Marathon obviously is at 1.5 million in assets. Market cap is at 1.47, almost there. They are at 97%. So this leads me to believe, like I said before, that they are pretty well valued right now, possibly at the 50% net income gross revenue mark on it. Then we got Riot is at 1.4 billion in total assets, and they are at 1.16 billion in market cap, so 81% of that. They're getting pretty close to being fairly valued, I think, in my opinion as well. Hut 8 is at 70% right now. Going down here, Iris is at 43%, Bitfarms is at 52%, CleanSpark is at 49%, Argo is at 70%, Green is at 26%, Hive is at 117%. So this leads me to believe that they might be a little bit overvalued right now, but it doesn't seem like it based on what they're making. So, well, it could be also because Ethereum obviously going away for them. I think it's obviously been up here quite a bit, but all assets 319, they're valued. I think they're pretty well valued right now, maybe even undervalued a little bit. BitDigital 43%, Mawson at 29%, Sphere 3D at 27%, Soluna 31%, DMG 43%, and DigiHost at 33%. So if we look at this going descending, we can see Hive, Marathon are pretty well valued. Riot is getting close to it, and then everybody else here is a little bit undervalued. We've seen Hut 8 come down way in price here recently, and that could be basically because they're not growing as much, or at least not putting out any information that they're growing. So that could be the reason there. Argo, same thing. Bitfarms, I mean, all of these guys here, I would think, are just way undervalued based on the assets that they already have and their market caps currently. Okay, so going down here to total current assets and total liabilities, we'll look at the current ratios. So obviously higher is better on this one. We'll do this descending as well. So BitDigital right now has the best ratio at 19.1, followed by Sphere 3D at 12.1, and Hut 8 at 10, Riot at 4.9, Marathon at 4, DigiHost at 3.8, Hive at 3.1, DMG at 3, Argo at 2.1, Iris at 1.8, CleanSpark at 1.4, Bitfarms at 1.2, Core is at 0.9, Greenidge is at 0.8, 0.6 for Soluna, and Mawson is at 0.17. So they're obviously in a little bit of trouble here. You want to be probably closer to 1. If you have obviously too much cash, that's not good because you're basically losing on it on inflation and everything else. So if you have too much cash and not taking out debt against it or something like that, that's not a good sign. So the closer you are to 1, I think that's probably better. So we've got Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Iris, Argo in here. DMG is getting a little high here as well. I think those are the most effective of using their cash and debt as far as that goes. And then total liabilities here and total equity. So debt to equity ratio, we'll just do this really quick as well. Lower is better, so we'll do that, let's see, ascending. So we can see here Sphere 3D has got the best one here at 0.023, Bit Digital at 0.041, DMG at 0.059, CleanSpark at 0.091, Riot at 0.115, Hut 8 at 0.125, DigiHost at 1.183, Hive is at 0.228, and Iris Energy is at 0.33. Soluna is at 0.388, Bitfarms at 0.412, Argo is at 0.839, Mawson is at 0.896, Marathon is at 1.28, Greenwich is at 2.1, and Core Scientific is at 3.4. So obviously that's not a good sign there for those guys here, and that obviously corresponds to with our red lines here. So let's do this, going ascending. There we go. So Core Scientific has the most debt, obviously. Current assets minus total liabilities, we're at 917 million in negative, followed by Marathon at 487. So they're going to have to start possibly raising some cash here. Might be with shareholder dilution as well. But they obviously have a lot of debt that they have to pay for. Greenwich is at 146, Mawson at 78. And like I said, Mawson sold a site to CleanSpark to kind of, I think, pay down some of their debt here. You can see here on them, let's see here, total current assets is only 12 million, but total current liabilities is 68 million, right? That's not good. Then you got, let's see where we're at. Mawson, you got Soluna at negative 23 million, Bitfarms at negative 13, CleanSpark at negative 4, Argo at negative 2, and then you get DigiHost up at 8, DMG up at 9, Iris is up 21 million, that's Australian dollars. Hive is at 31, Sphere 3D is 44, Bit Digital is at 77 or 71 million, Hut Data has got 191, and Riot's got 348. So those guys obviously have no problems there. They got plenty of cash for everything and more. So obviously the concern here is Core Scientific, Marathon, Greenwich, Mawson, and then let's take a look at the numbers here as far as total current assets for all these guys here. So Core's got 511 million total current assets, total current liabilities 516. So they should be okay. I mean, they're not too far off from that. Marathon's the total liabilities. That's obviously an issue here for Core Scientific. Marathon is at 362 total assets, current assets, and then obviously liabilities is 90 million. So that's fine. It should be good short term. It's long term that we're worried about. Greenwich is at 85 million, and they got 98 million for liabilities. So that's not good. There might be a little bit short-term pain here a little bit for them. Mawson, obviously 12 million and 68 million. That's a big difference there. Soluna is at 17 million and 27 million. So that's obviously not good there. Bitfarms is at 124 million and 96 in debt or liabilities currently. So they're fine there. CleanSpark at 29 and 19, almost 20. So they're fine. Argo's at 158 and 75. So they should be fine there as well. And then obviously DigiHost has got 18 and 4. DMG's got 13 and 4. Iris is at 237 million and 126 million Australian. So they're fine. Hive has got 90 and 29. They're good there. Sphere 49 and 4. Definitely good there. Bit Digital 78 and 4. Not a problem. Hut 8 has got 254 and 24. So obviously no problem there. Riot 496 and 100 million. So that's not a problem there. So obviously some of the ones here that don't have a lot of current assets and have a lot of current liabilities are the ones that are going to be in a little bit of pain here. So Moss and Soluna are the ones that stand out the most here, followed by Core is pretty close to that, and Greenwich, obviously. So, I mean, Core Scientific makes, if you're making 1,000 Bitcoin a month or so, that's, 20 million. So they got the revenue coming in to pay for it, obviously, for that. So that's kind of the way things stand right now. The ones that are possibly in trouble, and I think majority of these miners are undervalued. Marathon, I think, is pretty well valued right now, currently at the 50% net income from gross revenue, like I said before. And what was the other one? The other one was Sphere 3D, I think, is just a little bit way overvalued right now for where they are. but I can see the appeal of them going to 6 exahash and being only at 1 petahash or 100 petahash right now. So I can see the appeal of investors in that long game there for that. So that's it. Majority of miners are still undervalued in my opinion, exception with maybe 2 or 3. Other than that, they have to keep an eye on for their debt, obviously. So we may see some shareholder dilution, see some debt taken on, whether it's through financing or things like that, or ATMs. Who knows what's going to happen, but those are the ones to watch out for, to be kind of careful of. And then the other ones are either in the middle somewhere, or they're doing really good, or they have just too much cash and they really should do something with that cash to grow their future hash rate and build out infrastructure or something like that. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. Spreadsheets is available to my Patreon members as always. Thank you to them for all their continued support. And that's it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. We're still waiting on 2 miners to report. We're waiting on Soluna and Mawson to report. Hopefully Mawson reports tomorrow. They usually report on the 15th. And then once we get that, we'll do the miners versus miners spreadsheet on that. See which ones did best in August. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.